Well, um, it is really healthy to get in touch with one's anger and rage that lives within at some point in one's life journey. Some people are very much in touch with it, as you know, and we don't really want to be around those people too much. But other people may be like, I don't feel like I have anger inside. I hardly ever get angry. I've heard that. And I'm not saying you say that, but I just have heard that from certain people. And then I experience that actually they have a lot of anger and rage inside. And it's just that they're not in touch with it. It's just another elemental emotion that lives in the human body that is meant to flow. However, hopefully in a way that's non-harming. I always like to just sort of bring in the elements of nature as an example of what we contain inside. And you have fire, you have lightning, you have storms, you have different things that are more like thunder. You have things in nature that are more like boom, it can strike a tree, lightning, it can cause fire, burn things down. We're not meant to only have water and air, and we're meant to have all the elements in earth. We're meant to have all the elements. So fire might be an aspect. Another thing is astrologically, there's Mars. Has some vitality to it. It's not just anger, it's also just energy, vitality, a no, a big, powerful boundary. It's kind of like, I don't want to do that. I can't do it. There's a no, and I won't put up with it. Don't speak to me like that. Whatever it is, it can be energetic, and we can remove the label of anger being bad. Now, if anger and is really surfacing, that has energy to it, that it can be harming and is a bit overwhelming, I think it's just repressed stuff inside that needs to be released. And it's better in your dreams, of course, than with people. But rage is a little different from anger. Okay, anger can be healthy. It can really help one maintain boundaries, especially if one has been overly relaxed about a boundary. So sometimes, to make up for being overly relaxed, we get angry. But that's kind of our fault, of not knowing how to be true to ourselves in the moment. And we're trying to make up for having been untrue. So anger will surface. Even anger at, I have been putting up with this. There's a lot of it is self-anger, like it, and it's expressing itself outward sometimes, but it's like, how can I have been putting up with this? It's not even their fault that you've been putting up with it. It's ours. But rage, it can be something else. Rage is like an animal, like a beast that's been caged and hasn't seen the light of day and has been malnourished and repressed. And a lot of times what I've seen when there's rage, it's from one's childhood. And there's like unexpressed sublimated rage for one's parent, like it builds up, like putting up with something from a parent. Then when we're a child, we don't really have the opportunity and a voice, and it can be unsafe to just express differently that this is not okay. So being maltreated, mistreated in different ways, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, can produce rage. And rage is just pent up anger, and so it's going to erupt. It needs to erupt somewhere. It can be harming. Some people turn rage towards themselves and they'll do self-harming. They'll cut themselves, like you hear teenage girls doing that.
Yeah.
They'll, even bulimia is self-harming, anorexia, certain types of drug addiction, different things like that will be. So this self-harming is really an expression of, well, unworthiness, but also rage, the unexpressed rage that doesn't know how to let it out. And it feels too scary to project it outwardly because they haven't been feeling safe in the world. And so it'll be directed inwardly. Like I can't let myself be angry at you or my parents. It's just, how can I, if I let myself get angry, maybe I will lose love.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'll lose the only thing that really is important to me, but really I am furious. And it might be even hidden where the rage is, why there's rage. So it'll be directed inwardly, and someone will create inner toxicity and harm themselves through it. And even to smaller degrees, like not accomplish life and live their potential. Now, how come I just got a text? It should be off. Oh, sorry, here. There we go. Just like being unmanifested in life,
Oh, yeah.
just like not living one's potential and being in embracing living a life of creative potential, and can also be a way of holding back and sabotaging oneself because there's pent up, anger and rage. It's interesting how it can sabotage your life. And yeah, so having it express itself in the dream time is the first step. But then I would like, since you're also an artist, I would draw it, maybe, and not in a nice, neat way, but like out of the lines, just really draw. What is it? What is this? What is it? Just like let it out. Not what is it intellectually, but like express it. And because I have seen people who say they're not angry. I'm not, and really, and I'm just like, you say you never get angry. That scares me.
Yeah.
That is frightening, because that means it's repressed and it's going to come out somewhere. It's going to come out somewhere, whether they're privately kicking their dog, you know what I mean? Or they're angry at you for not living up to what they think you should live up to. And they start to hold back their love or hold back their whatever, because they're angry, because you're not being mama, you're not being papa to them. So it's this childhood pain that is still held back, and it's like it's not been safe to be angry at one's own parents. It still lives in an adult oftentimes, and then it'll come out in these really strange ways and sabotage relationship and their life, because they haven't expressed and aired out this pain, this anger, because it's like there's sadness, and so a lot of times people will have these layers to their emotional body of how they feel about certain things in life. And for some people, sadness will be the base layer, way lying underneath everything. And then above that would be maybe anger and rage and then anger. For some people, rage is the base layer. And to get there, you have to go through sadness. So it's really, everybody's made up differently. And so when people say sometimes that they don't know how to access their anger, it's because they haven't gone that through those layers. They can access sadness, right? It's safer for many people to access sadness. And for other people, it's safer to access anger and rage than sadness, because they feel vulnerable when they're sad. So it really depends on one's makeup. So if you're one of the kind of people where sadness has been much easier to access than anger,
Yeah.
that's why it's coming up now, because your soul wants to empty out and free up.
Well, this is great, to listen to you talk about anger for this portion of time. I use the word refreshing. It's very refreshing to me because it's a topic that, you don't talk about with people. And my upbringing was, you are not angry. No, you're not angry. It was a bad thing. It was very bad. So for you to talk about it in this way is very enlivening to me. It's new. It's a new thing to talk about it that way. And I'm as part of a real part of life.
It is. I'm glad. Yeah, it's always a good thing, and to find healing and create a new relationship with anger and with different emotions.
With different emotions, yeah.
With you, it's anger. So right now, like dance with it, and learn its language. What is its purpose? What is its power? What happens when you push it away? What happens when you welcome it? Just kind of dance with it and see.
Wow. Yeah.
It can be strength too. I mean, if you think of Martin Luther King and what he accomplished in his short life, he had like really channeled, powerful anger.
Mm-hmm.
It used intelligently with precision and in a way that was forceful and accomplished something. Because he said, no, this is not okay how people are being treated. And I'm going to direct that. I'm going to use it. He wasn't a pansy and soft, and he wouldn't have accomplished the same thing. Of course, you can be soft and accomplish a lot. But it's just that anger needs to be interwoven like a weave, like if it was a color, red, or, lovely, vibrant color.
Vibrant color, yeah. Okay, well, thank you so much. So much.
You're so welcome. Yeah. Yeah. I have this really cool little art piece. It's about this big, and it's made out of it was fired, so I guess it's clay, but it's a sculpture. And it's these two figures kind of dancing with each other, wrestling, dancing. It's like a contrast, and it's about duality. It really is. It's one figure is a certain color, the other figure is another color, and one figure has a certain expression, the other one has a very intense expression, and they're like, you can't say one is better than the other. They're really literally working something out. It's like a dance. It's in the sculpture that I have. Anyway, maybe no, it's in storage. I'll take a picture of it someday for you. But to me, it speaks of that. It speaks of, this dance between opposites and finding our way. We have our yin nature, we have our yang nature, we have our passive, we have our active, we have our all is well, and we have our this is not okay. And it's these forces of nature that live in us that are wanting to find some kind of balance. Yeah.
Thank you again.
Yes. Thanks,
I'm going to
Sam.
turn this off.
Sure, sure. So anyway, beware of the one who says they don't have anger. No. And if you are that one, yeah, if that's what you feel about yourself and been taught that's a positive trait, and look at that and say, is that really true? And is that really necessary? And is that healthy even? Okay. I say don't project it and act it out in unkind ways towards people around you. That's not well, that's not mature. But there are times to have a no that's really strong, and as you know, and actually, the more that we become balanced with it, the less it needs to have a dragon appearance. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to go and burn everything and around, Although, if you see someone being abused or something, sure, bring out the dragon. You know what I mean? Yeah, be a force for, like, a mother nature force. But in everyday reality, it's just like if you have access to your anger, it just weaves its way in a natural way of like, no, yes, no, yes, no, thank you.